We are activating your unique self-discovery one show at a time. The Orchard of Wisdom Self-Discovery podcast are at your fingertips, just waiting to inspire and invite you in discovering just how awesome you really are and how to navigate through life in joy, enrichment, personal abundance, in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. All the people we bring you are here to serve you on your journey of life. Do enjoy our next show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Quantum Spirituality right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My guest today is Todd Wilcox. What is it? Is a sorry, I'm getting to his show page here. It is quantum field as he discussed how we can learn to use our natural abilities in quantum healing. And he's a slipstream shaman. What does that mean? The slipstream. I understand the shaman bit. He's going to take us into a journey of the quantum field as he discusses how we can learn to use our natural abilities in quantum healing. He has a lifelong fascination with the alternative healing, conscious expansion, and human potential. His first book, Slipstream Shaman, Using Quantum Healing for Individuals, Communities, the Planet, and Beyond, was recently published, and the next two book series will be out soon. Oh God, I love a good trilogy. We're going to be talking about the book today. We're going to be talking about what is quantum healing. And a lot of people, when they hear quantum, they think only of physics, and they don't realize there's quantum spirituality, quantum healing. It is all energy. It's all mathematical if you wanted to break it down. It's how we use it that's very, very important. So let us get into it and talk about his journey. Over the last 40 years, he's been looking for his purpose. He thought he would find something huge as soon as he knew what it was. Well, then the clouds would clear and the sky would be blue. And he would have a clear path to a glorious success in the world, choosing his world. When he did find his purpose, it turned out to be something simple, though he learned that simplicity does not always mean equal easy. His purpose is to help. Simple as that. How does he do it? Well, the book, Slipstream Shaman, Using the Quantum Healing, is that journey and how he does it. And that's what he is sharing with us today. I love it when somebody embraces their journey, finds their meaningful purpose, and just lets their wings do the flying. Welcome to the show, Todd.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm excited to be here. And what an introduction. Thank you.
Let's understand what quantum healing is. You know, again, when people hear quantum, they only think of physics, and they think it's these huge mathematical equations that nobody understands other than the physicists. But quantum is kind of more of an energetic vibration that we can measure. And in spirituality, it is riding that rhythm, that wave, that vibration, that frequency. But in healing, a lot of people don't realize that quantum healing of using energy most certainly can heal us in so many ways. Just as like it can shatter us, it can also heal us as well. So let's talk a little bit about the quantum of it.
Okay, so yeah, and you had a very beautiful way of saying it during the introduction. It's really about energy. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at the quantum field, the quantum room that I talk about, it's a place where you interact with spirit and energy. The two things combined to just really do great things. Mm-hmm. And that's what shamanism is all about, is working in spirit and energy. And I changed it up a little bit because of the time we're living in and the speed that things are moving at, and my patience level. We needed to do things faster. When I was learning neuro-linguistic programming, one of the people that I was learning it from challenged us to always look for a faster way. If you can help somebody recover or change a pattern in 6 steps, what if you only need 5? What if you only need 4? Is there a way to cut out steps? And then I love Lean Six Sigma, which is all about eliminating defects and cutting out steps. So it's just kind of my personality to do things faster with less steps. And that's what the slipstream is all about. The slipstream, the easiest way to think about what a slipstream is when you're driving down the freeway and a diesel truck passes you. And that wave of air pushes you a little bit to the side, and then it goes by and it pulls you back where you were. Or you get behind them and follow. Now you're going faster than you were before, but you notice that your RPMs are lower. because that truck is actually pulling you along in their wake, in their slipstream. And that's what this is about. You make a change today and it affects your future. It affects your past on that slipstream, and it happens very rapidly. So it's, for me, being the slip, practicing slipstream shamanism is all about using the techniques of a shaman, which is interacting with spirit and energy, setting intent, finding a way to help people make that change, and then also speeding it up, because everything is faster now. Everything's faster than it was 10 years ago and 20 years ago and 50 years ago. Everything just moves faster, and we have to keep up with it. And so it's important that when we heal ourselves, when we make a change, that it doesn't take years. We want it to go fast. And even the book is designed for you to read in 2 hours. So you could actually have the book in your hands, read completely through it in 2 hours and be started. Or if you're like me and want to get started faster, you could take about 45 minutes, read through all the processes, and actually get started. The last half of the book just goes over experiences that I've had in that quantum realm, in the quantum room, while I'm helping people. So, realistically, if somebody wanted to make a change in the next hour and they had the ability to get a Kindle, they could get started in the next hour. So it's all about speed and just the way we interact with spirit and energy.
The interesting thing I find on that is I'm a True Colors personality coach, addressing the 4 personality traits that we have. And, when you talk about people who want to, okay, just show me how I want to do it. Orange personality. I haven't got time for all the all that doodah stuff. I just give me the point, let's get it going, right? Yes. But then you'll have another personality, like, I'm not going to go until I know all the bells and whistles, all the facts, all the details. I want to know how this works before I'm going to do anything with it. And then you've got the other people, well, if everybody else is doing it, can you give me step by step what I need to do? Because I'm a little scared. I need to know this is sure-footed. And then you have me, the screaming blues, which is, okay, just I'm flapping my wings, let's go. But it's different to the orange, who wants to apply it to maximize. The blue wants to apply it to experience. So I always find it very, very interesting when you look at our human trait, which is the human personalities, the resistance or the flow that happens according to a personality trait. So having a book where people can just, okay, I could just apply this right now, or I could read through the details of, why to apply it, or I could read his story and how he applied it. And so you're giving people that basis of, from whatever personality trait they are, there's something there for them to actually understand what it is you're saying.
And I love that, and that was on accident, and I should have known better, because I have studied those traits. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And it's important. One of the key things in the book, and I talk about it repeatedly, is this is for you. This is about you. You need to do it your way. I talk about when I was first learning how to find my energy, the shaman that I was learning it from was telling me that the color of the energy should be one color. Well, mine was blue. Mine was light blue, didn't look like hers.
Yeah.
Mine was cold, hers was warm. And, everything she was saying that it should be, mine was not. And it took me out of the training.
Yeah.
And so I want people to know that this is your experience. You're going to do it your way. And so, yes, you can read it in 45 minutes. You can take an hour, or 2 hours. You can read it 3 times before you start. And I've talked to people who have done that. Talked to multiple people that have read it 3 times before they even get started on it. But the whole thing was, and I'm sitting in this wonderful library of mine. I've got the coolest man cave ever. I've got a dinosaur footprint, some aliens, tons of books, TARDIS. Is you go into people's libraries and they've got all these books, and you ask them, how many of those have you read? And they usually look down a little bit and turn a little red, and they'll say like 4. And so there's all these books with just tons of information. And as you're trying to read them and do self-help or do business or whatever, there's so much information, you get locked down on what you need to do.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that if people were going to invest in this, that they were actually going to be able to read it. And it would break my heart if I walked into somebody's library and saw my book and the spine wasn't creased.
Yeah.
I want it read. I want people to be able to move forward and help themselves. And that's how it was designed, so that you could get right to it and get on it. And that's how the next two will be also.
Is it also a book that you can, okay, universe, what do I need to know today? And you can open up the page and there's something in that page that is relevant to what you need need
It's funny how often you can do that, and
I
how
do
often
that all
I
the
do
time
that
in my
with
books. What do
books.
I need to know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't done that with this book. I have done that with others. And so I would encourage people when they have it, yeah, just to open it up, and the universe will let you in
Yeah.
on things that you need to be working on. And so it would not shock me one bit if you open the book up at any given time, a month from now, 6 months from now, and it's talking to you about something you really need to focus on. I
Yeah.
have a planner that I use. I'm still using a paper planner like a Neanderthal, but it has sayings on the top.
Hmm.
And some days I just open it up randomly to see what the universe wants me to know about. It might be something from Einstein, or it might be something from, whoever. And it's shocking how many times that's exactly what I needed. So yeah, I think that's wonderful, and I encourage people to do that with most of their books.
I think one of the important things is to actually understand, whether you like it or not, and resistance is futile. We are on the quantum growth. We are
yes.
elevating our frequency, our wavelengths. We are embracing the vibration of love, which resonates at this higher hertz. And when we are in that frequency of love, there is it's almost like the heaven inside of you. You can't normally go and hurt anyone else, because to do so would hurt you. It is all about sharing that love with whatever gift you are. I always use the analogy of discover what your instrument is, learn how to play it, then find that symphony that in sync and harmoniously, and in each another's individual strengths, you can make an orchestra that can create a symphony that is so inviting. And we are an individual instrument, and we need to know our own love, love of self, love of life, love of purpose, love of all the beauty that is in the world, because we can't heal the pain if you're not willing to see the beauty.
Absolutely. And love is a big part of this book. And it might help to give you a little background on how my whole process evolved. Like I said, I was learning from a shaman that was confusing me. And the reason that I was learning from that shaman was I was in a paranormal group, and we would do ghost hunt, ghost investigations, those kind of things. And when you're doing that, you get to be friends with other groups. And I got a call from another group one day saying that they're putting together an extra group that would be one or two people from a bunch of different groups that would go to places that nobody else could help,
Mhm.
and to help those people. And I thought, well, that'd be great. Let's do that. But then I thought, how do I do it? What if it's a demon? What if it's a spirit? Whatever. I didn't know how to help. And so we knew we had to get some more training, and that shaman was part of it. And so as I'm learning the process that the shaman taught me, and I found my energy, and then that energy led me to the quantum room where I actually do the work in that quantum realm. Um, I started off, since we might be fighting demons, I had it in my head that, it was going to be about fighting and pushing things out and throwing things out. I decided I needed a warrior team. And I asked, who can help me with this team? And in my quantum room, it's just a gray, misty room. You're just kind of floating there like you're inside a big thundercloud. And the mist parted a little bit, and a little dog that I used to have named Desi came out, little beagle. Prettiest dog, most beautiful dog I've ever been around, and also absolutely ferocious. She would protect the family to the end. Snakes lasted about 3 seconds with her. Rats lasted, the same. Big dogs, they either listened to her or they were in trouble, and so I thought, what a great thing for the warriors. And I got more dogs, and I got this uncle of mine, and some other things came to help me with the warrior side. And at first, when I was helping people, I would invite them into the quantum room, and we would remove things from them. I call them either parasites or companions. At the time, I just thought they were something bad.
Right.
And we would remove things from these people, and basically incinerate them with energy to make it away from the person. And after after I did this a few times and I saw that they had results for a while and then it kind of came back, I remembered nature abhors a vacuum. So now, I wanted, well, what's the opposite of a warrior team? Let's have a love team.
Yes.
So I invited the love team, and I had a cute little dog named Sin came out, a wonderful aunt of mine. Different things came out to help on that love team. And so we would remove these things from the people, incinerate them, and then fill the person with love. So they were feeling better. Later, I came to my senses and remembered during some other training that everything starts with a positive intent, or most things start with a positive intent. And I thought, here I am incinerating these things that probably started as a positive intent. So as we were doing this, the love really helped a lot with the person, filling them up so that the things didn't come back. But when we took these companions, and I'll just use an example. I was working with a lady, and I don't like to know what's wrong with people. They're just, all I want to know is they're having trouble, or they just want me to do a healing session with them. I don't want to know anything else because I get biased and try too hard.
Yes, exactly. The head gets in the way.
Exactly. And so I did this session with her, and Desi pulled this rag away from her heart and pulled it out. And this is all happening in the quantum room. It's metaphysical. It's, I didn't actually pull a rag out of this person, but it's in my quantum room. She pulls the rag out. We incinerate it. Not incinerate it. Now we're just cleaning it up, debriding it. We're just cleaning the surface off so it's ready for healing. So we give it energy to clean any crud off of it. Then we fill it with love. We just blast it with love energy from the love team. And so this rag, after we debrided it and got it ready for healing, we hit it with love. It grows into this cute little boy with blonde hair that looked at this person with a great big smile and then walked off. And I'm telling her about all this, and then she tells me about the heart trouble she had that she was having, and she was on some fairly heavy medication on a CPAP machine, and her heart was getting worse. After we did this process, her heart started improving to the point where less than a year later, she was off the heart medication completely, off the CPAP, everything, and she continues to improve health-wise. And I'm not saying that I cure things, but I think there's a part of what we're doing with medicine that's missing the energy, the spirit. And that's what we do, is we assist and we help things flow better. We might just be that straw that breaks the camel's back, or it might be a little bit more, but coincidence, all these things where I'm helping people and all of a sudden they get better. After a while, I had to admit to myself that something that I'm doing, something that the warrior team and the love team is doing, is making a difference. You just can't say it's a coincidence after so many of them.
I don't believe in coincidences. I think they're always divinely planned. And the thing is, when you talked about the void, you can't leave the void because it's not the same entity that comes back. It's another one that goes, oh, there's an open door. And when I was younger, I was dabbling way too much without protection or closing doors, and I was possessed. And I was living in a house with a bunch of people who didn't believe in any of this until they saw me riling on top of my bed, and having to hold me down and scream at this thing that had got hold of me. It was an earthbounder. But I've had 203 lifetimes removed from me. Wow. And in doing so, it lightened me up. It took away blockages that did not belong to me in this lifetime. And there are so many people, and we've got two things going on. We've got people as a human being right now going through discord and distress and dis-ease that is leading to disease.
Yes.
And then we have the spirit world, which is incredibly healing, but it has its own battle in the sense of the resistance, of the denial, of the interruptive flow. But when the spirit is allowed, the spiritual energy is allowed to flow, it releases everything that you do not need, right? And it fills it with loving energy. So everything in the psyche, the body, the cellular structure calms down It is at ease, and the chi, the energy in the body, is in flow. Well, when it's in flow, the body has incredible ability to heal itself.
Yes.
But it has those blockages all the way through the body, past time, lifetimes, past time memories, DNA memories, anguish and pain of trauma of this lifetime. All of these things add up, and it starts causing all of these blockages. So you're removing them and then filling it with love. Well, that love is, that loving energy is, going back to what you were saying earlier, it's the foot to the pedal.
Yes. Yes. And then the healing starts. You can feel it. You even feel it. You feel it going backwards in your life. You feel it going frontwards in your life. It's really beautiful. It's amazing the way that this works. And the whole present, past, and future. When I'm in a session, I make notes. And I can't, if I don't make notes, the human brain doesn't remember it. I've got to make notes immediately or it's gone.
Yeah.
And these notes make no sense to an English major because the sentences will refer to things in present, past, and current tense. And it just makes my editor crazy. But those words make sense to what happened because that's how time was when I was doing the session.
But time is past, present, even our future is
It's
all
mixed up,
intertwined. It's all intertwined with one. It is us that wants this linear one foot in front of the other path. It is actually against the quantum energy and time itself.
Exactly. Yeah, and so it's really crazy how that happens, and you just feel it. You feel it moving in all directions. Something that evolved from this after the love group. The next thing that this evolved to was 7-generation healing, and what takes place with that. And it may be different than what Aborigines talk about the 7 generations, and not all my stuff is the same as everybody else's. You're not going to be able to pass a physics test by reading my book,
right?
But it's my interpretation. And at the end of these sessions, first we find things that don't belong on people. They might be companions that started off with a positive intent. They might be a parasite that started with a bad intent, or as a demon, or as an alien or something. And we get rid of those. We fill them with love. Then 7 generations, front and back, future and past, surround this person and just give them the love and protection and energy that they need. And as I look at this part, I always travel up above them. Normally I'm face to face like we are in the quantum room, but as soon as 7 generations get there, I travel up above them and look down, and it becomes a big circle with those 7 generations around these people. And it's not just blood generation, relatives for these generations. It's friends. It's the people you're supposed to interact with. It's spiritual groups. All those things become the 7 generations. And as they are surrounding this person and making sure that they're healing and loved, you start to see symbols appear in the groups as you're looking down at them. And it reminds me a little bit of looking at the Mayan calendar, the big round calendar. But you've got all these symbols throughout, and all those symbols mean something. They're healing, their protection, their growth. They're the energy, just the way the energy looks. All these things are happening with that. And it's I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it, how wonderful that last part of the process is.
And it's if people want to know what freedom is, it's not freedom of the human rights. This is freedom of the spiritual rights, and that's, again, nothing to do with religion. It's that when you have actually stepped into spirit and you've allowed your soul to open up and channel all the wisdom that you need, it resonates with your heart and truth. It gives it to the spirit in action, and your mind knows what it needs to know when it needs to know it. You're in such trust of the knowingness. You know that you are singular but never alone. And you know that whatever you need to know will come to you when it needs to come to you. And you're just so very present in your life.
Absolutely. Very present. And I don't know why, Sarah, but this, as you were talking, my head started thinking about this. I do healing sessions for people, and there's no charge for those.
Wonderful.
If somebody just wants to reach out to, go to slipstreamshaman.com, there's an email there for me, or if you remember, Slipstream Shaman at Gmail, either way. And just let me know that you need a healing. I will do that for you. And it's not that I'm trying to trick you by coming to my website, telling you there's no charge, and then I ask you for a donation.
Right.
I don't do that either. I don't want any money for this healing. It's part of my purpose to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to be able to do this eventually full time, but that will come with the book and the next book, and maybe some trainings and some YouTube, or who knows, that there'll be a way. But I won't charge people for individual sessions. So if they feel like this could help, be sure to reach out to me. I love to do it. Sometimes I get bogged down. I might get 10 or 15 in a day, and that takes me several days to get to. Or like we were talking about earlier, I just became a grandfather, and that put me behind on a few of them. So sometimes I do it immediately, but within a week you'll hear from me, and we'll do a healing session. And the neat part about this is, as we talked, when we're in this quantum room, in the quantum realm, time is different.
Yes.
And I was working with a friend of mine, and I didn't know that he was having trouble, but the universe had me reach out to him, and he asked me for a healing session, and I said I would, and I didn't do it for a day. I didn't do it the day I said I would. He felt it the day I told him I would, because of retrocausality and time not making a difference.
Right.
And he talked about the things that we were doing in that room. He knew about it, even though I did that work a day later, according to our time, linear time.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get scared if I'm taking a few days or even a week to get to you. It's gonna heal when it's supposed to heal.
It's like these shows, they may go up at a certain time and people may listen to them at a certain time, but what we're talking about today and the energy that we're talking about is already out there.
Yes.
It's already going to open the door to someone who will find this show because they need it, because the energy's already reached them.
I agree 100%. And it's going to be there for them when they need it. So it might be
just like the book, right? When you're ready, thing is, you're going to have a full library of every answer in the world, but unless somebody's ready to pick up the book or pick up the phone or pick up the email, interact. There's a lot of people who, well, I'm in trouble, I need help, but I don't know how. And you go, look, here's this wonderful library of people that can take that next step with you and show you the how, but they get overwhelmed. And I always say the biggest leap is the first step.
Yes.
And once you've made that first step and you've decided, I am going to move forward, it's not necessary for me to know how to do it right now, but who is going to help me, because there's people like you, and I've been doing this 10 years, many other people, whatever modality or whatever energy you feel you connect with, because it is, do you connect with people? If you're connecting with someone and you feel that energy and you know that channel's already there, so that's when you reach out to them. We have got to be interactive in our own lives. This isn't for someone to come and fix us or heal us. This is for someone who is going to assist us in our own healing, assist us on our own journey. But we've got to be willing to take it. And yes, there's a lot of information out there, and that's one of the reasons I do the podcast. They're listening to you and what you have to say and why you're doing it or what you're doing. And if they energetically receive you, then they'll know. That's the reason why I do these. It's there is no yellow pages. We've got rid of the flash, thank God. And now it's about, I don't know why I need to listen to this, or I don't know why I need to read this, but I've just got to. And please don't talk yourself out of it. When you've got that got to, do it. It's leading you somewhere. It's leading you somewhere. Do it. We like to talk ourselves out of things because we follow the human intellect. And if you're only working from the human intellect, not the divine human intellect, then you are missing a massive chunk of all the wisdom and guidance that you need in the world.
Absolutely. I love that. Don't talk yourself out of it. And one of the things that I love is talking to people that are high level athletes. And it's funny that without fail, every single one of them, when they're talking about their workouts, the hardest part is putting their shoes on. Once they get their shoes on, they know it's serious. They can't talk themselves out of it. They're going to go work out. whether it's for wrestling or running or boxing or not swimming obviously, but
Flippers.
but for everything but swimming and diving, the hardest part
Trunks for
is,
swimming when you've got your trunks on.
yeah, then it's time. And so they know that once those are on, it's go time. And they can, even the very greatest of athletes will try to talk themselves out of things. And they know that they need to work out, and they know that they're driven to work out, but still they're just like us. It's hard to get that first step, and putting on their shoes is that first step, and finding your first step and just taking it. Once you take that first step, the rest of it's easy.
I don't care what the map says. There isn't a map. This is your life. No, you are chartering your map, right? You're taking be willing to be an explorer in your own life. Be wondrous, be adventurous along the way. And as a coach, I used to have a wonderful program that I took people on that showed them if they were paying attention or what things meant. And most of the time people walk along with blinkers on. You know, the horse thing, either side of their eyes. There's somebody on the side of the road, each one of them, offering you water, offering you wisdom, offering you shelter, offering you food. And you're just, but I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. There's all of these people that can assist you. Pay attention.
Yeah. Or I wish there was somebody or something that could help me.
Yeah, exactly.
As they're right to the side.
I know. That's the point. And it's like, also, do not dictate how it's meant to happen for you.
Right.
You have to allow.
Yeah, just find your way.
Yeah.
And I go through that a lot during the book. Find what's true to you. If it feels true, it probably is. If it feels right, it probably is. And if as you're working through this book, if there's a part of it that just doesn't feel right, look at what doesn't feel right and make an adjustment. Just like when I was learning from that shaman, I knew my energy wasn't the color she said. I knew my energy wasn't warm. I had to go do that on my own because I just couldn't concentrate with her saying what wasn't working for me. So please, please, please listen to that voice in your head. If something's a little bit off, take a step to the side and you'll find that it works better for you.
Just like the people on the side of the road that you meet on your journey of life, that shaman put you on a certain path and you got confident enough and in tuned enough with yourself to know that that path no longer served you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Doesn't, well, I'm on that path, the shaman should be helping. Why isn't he helping me? This all must be a hoax. No, he served his purpose. He opened up a few of the chakras and then you realize, okay, no, he's taken me as far as I can go. I know enough now that I need to seek other avenues.
Absolutely. And whether the avenue is a coach, a trainer, a shaman, or just you.
Yes.
Going into your spiritual area and your energy area and finding those answers. However it works for you is wonderful. It's beautiful, and do it. I always think about, there's a scene the movie's called The River Runs Through It. And just love that movie. And this dad was teaching his boys how to fly fish when they're little kids, and he had the metronome that you put on. I can't do that because my hand's moving too fast. That thing that's on your that you see on top of pianos that tick tick tick, telling you, yes, that one. And he would have them cast based on a speed of that thing, and that's how they grew up. That's how they learned to fish. Well, during the movie, the youngest brother breaks away. He finds his own rhythm. He no longer does the same rhythm of his dad. And it was so beautiful watching the dad and his big brother watch him become himself, find his own voice, find his way. And of course he goes on and catches a huge fish. But that's the goal of anybody that's a coach or a trainer, is to get you set up in the basics and to help you learn and then be ready for that day where you run on your own. And
that's the point, isn't it?
Yes.
That's the point. It's like, the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. It's that time when you finally break through and discover your wings.
Yes.
And it's, if father had gone, no, you can't do it their way, I insist you do it my way, then what you've just done is stifled any creativity, any growth. And you've clipped their wings their spiritual wings that they will never investigate because they think they have to do it somebody else's way, or
Right.
there'll be a failure, or that, you know, they're not going to please anybody, or they're going to go to hell, you know, whatever extreme it is. And we have to understand that, yes, you can follow people that inspire you, but they're inspiring you to invite you to discover what's for you. They're just the inspiration that has ignited your heart and soul. How are you going to use that heart and soul? That's your path.
Yes. And then you go and find it, and there's nothing more rewarding for
Yeah.
a father, and now grandfather, or coach, or whoever, to watch it when that happens. That
Yeah.
is the ultimate compliment, ultimate, I don't know what word to even use, but that there is just nothing better for me than seeing people that I've helped
Yes.
get the basics to pick up and run, especially if they pass me.
Yes.
I adore it when they pass me.
Mm.
So that's just my own
Well,
uh,
that's the epitome of a
personality.
good teacher, is when the student can teach the teacher, you know,
Yes,
and it's not the lauding, well, I know better than you now. It is the thank you for all that you've taught me. Now
yes,
let me show you what I've learned.
yes,
And then the teacher learns from the student that has gone, you know, further than them. And that is so inspirational, because imagine if we only kept ourselves up to the knowledge of the teacher,
exactly.
and we never pushed further forward and we never grew, you know, what a robotic life we would have,
Yeah. And
which
as
we are
cool as I
living in many
am,
ways.
yeah, even as cool as I am, I want you to be better.
Yes, yes. And that is the point. And, you know, I know that these shows have served, saved lives, and they've had big impacts in lives, because occasionally I get told that
Right.
from people, but most of the time they're out there. They're out there in a beautiful big cosmic library, ready for the clicking, for when people are ready for that information to apply to their lives. But it's almost like, you know, here the kids are. I know they're out there. They're serving a purpose, but I don't always know how, who, where, or the impact that they're having. And I think it's also let go of that. You know, let go of what the response will be, or what the praise would be, or anything. Because sometimes you just simply don't know until you do know.
Absolutely. Yeah, again, very well said. And the work you're doing with your show, and saving lives and really helping people grow and develop, that what a great thing that you're doing for the world, and all the people out
Well,
there.
this is what I discovered at 57. I was actually, I had backed an electric quantum electric motor, and it had been stolen from us, and all sorts of stuff went wrong. I ended up homeless and depressed, and at the bottom, you know, bottomed out. I had the cosmic 2x4, and this woman had read my article, and she said, I'd love you to be a host on my podcast network. And I said, what's a podcast? I had no idea. And anyway, I did. I had to pay for it. I don't even know where I got the money, because I didn't even have money for rent, but somehow it was there. And I worked 13 years with her, no, 13 months with her, live shows, fabulous training ground. And then
Yes.
I started my own. Even when I started my own, I didn't know what I was doing. And you know, a lot of people are waiting for everything, you know, for the stage to be set, everything to be perfect. But what they haven't done is allow the actors to come in and add their own essence to it. You know, it's the stage will change according to the way the actors perform. And if we're so rigid on how the stage should look and where the actors should stand, we're missing the essence, you know, the nuance of what they bring to the table. So
Yes.
it's I think it's really, really important that we always remember somebody's got an ingredient for your dish that can enhance it even more.
And you just don't know what that's going to be, and
No,
that's a really exciting thing
yes.
with all this. And I do encourage people to let me know, share your wins,
Mm,
because you don't know how many people that could help, how many lives it might save when you learn something doing this work, that gets out there to everybody else, whether it's using the Slipstream Shaman method like I use, or whatever works for you. It becomes your own method, your own process, but sharing that with people so that others can learn from it and get that other ingredient that you're talking about that
yeah.
makes it all that much better. And that's how my development went. I added a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. And maybe it was just the universe saying, okay, now you're ready for this next step.
But
Now
the
you get to have it.
pivot time.
Yeah.
5 years ago, I was given a saying by the universe. The universe is going to shake us up to wake us up, for us to step up, change it up, and grow up. A double entendre on the grow up. Grow up vibrationally, but grow up as a human race. Stop being so petty to one another. And we are, most certainly, the shaking is still going on. And, through the shaking, the people that are standing up are those that I don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Right.
I want more. There has to be more. And those that are already changing it up because they've already received that information, and those that are willing to grow up both as a human being and also energetically, and they're already changing the structure of the future. But you'll still have those that are being shaken, and it's like they're just not ready to step out, and they may never be.
Right. Yeah, they may never be. And it's important for us not to push people that just aren't ready to do it.
They have to. This is why I say the inspiration is against invitation. When you inspire them so much that they want to take that leap of the first step, you've invited them to step into their own lives. But you can't force anyone. You can't demand anyone. If they're not doing it of their own free will, then they're doing it for the wrong reason, and they won't learn the right lesson.
Correct. And if they're not doing it for themselves, they won't have that passion,
right,
to have the energy to notice the nuances that they need to get the most out of it too. So, yeah, it's as much as I would like to help everybody, not everybody's ready for help.
Yes.
And so we want to help. And I say we all the time. It just feels like there's more than me involved in this. So most of the time you'll hear me say me. I mean, we, when I'm talking about this, because there are the warrior team, the love team, the 7 generations, the people that I've helped. I think I still have some of their energy with me that's helping with this. So there's a lot going on here, and it's a big group. And those
you have the 2 or 3 different orchestras, and each orchestra plays different music for different reasons. And quantum language, galactic language, as some people use it, where some people channel information you need to know, but they're not speaking in a language our brain understands. And but it is so rhythmical, and it's so vibrational that it's getting a message to the heart and the soul and the psyche and the spirit. And sometimes that's the best thing, because our head always wants to interfere. I got to make sense of it. What do you mean that? Da, da, da. And we get in the way. And this beautiful other language, which music has, it speaks to our heart, soul, and spirit, and it is our equilibrium. It rebalances and recalibrates us so that we can be that whole person. Then the mind will be clear. But, there's times we've just got to shut this head off and allow.
And it's so easy to get into your own head and worry and think, oh, I missed a step, now it's not going to work, or whatever the case is. And it's really easy to get in your own head. And it's funny when that happens to me. Almost every time I will get an email from somebody that I did a healing session on, talking about how much it helped them, how much it not only helped them, but maybe even their family. And then you remember why you're doing it and what's going on. And for me, I get back out of my head and I can start doing the work again. I get worried about, am I helping people enough? Am I, is it truly helping? But yes, it is. And I have to just remember that and let it go and be quiet, and everything's going to come in.
When we step into worry, anxiety, which leads to depression, or it leads to anger and distrust, we are literally changing the structure of all the muscles in our body. It tightens up. Everything shuts down. When everything tightens up and shuts down and crunches up like this, where is the flow of energy? Where is the answer? This is why we always ask people just to breathe. Breathe it in, because you have to erect the spine where all the chakras are. You have to align everything up, and then those lovely 3 deep breaths to clear everything. And now you've got your body in alignment so the energy can start running through again. And when you allow that energy to run through, there are the answers.
Yeah.
But we will never get answers when we're in that state of anxiety, anger, depression, hate, because that clenches us. It doesn't open us up.
Absolutely. An example, and probably everybody can relate to this, is things have been rough, obviously, the last 2 years. There's not as many people at work. You go to a restaurant, they've got
shortage everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And when you get frustrated at those people, you're getting number one, you're getting frustrated at the ones that showed up.
Exactly. Exactly.
and they're not the ones that you should be frustrated with, but that's who gets it. When you start blasting them with negativity
Mm-hmm.
and talking about their incompetence and all the horrible things, you're not putting them in a place where they can use all their resources to help you. They want to help you. That's why they're there. You're making it worse. You're going to get something much better if you're not throwing a fit and going into histrionics. Yeah. And plus the things that those people remember are the people that lose it, especially when they lose it over something they have no control over. So right. You're putting something awful on that person. I promise you that the nicer you are, yes, the better the thing you're going to get from that restaurant, exactly, from that retail worker, from that police officer. Go as nice as you possibly can. And you know, get better things.
I'll take it from another, because I have 18 genres here and I have a business genre. You know, a lot of people are just taking jobs because they want a job. And quite honestly, they don't like people. And they've been put into a people position. And there's a great deal of rudeness out of them. And it's mostly because of their discontent of their own job or their own lives, which they're imposing upon other people. And it can shatter the vibration they're in. So I think it is, you know, this particular time period that we're in life, everything to do with the virus. Yes, unfortunately, it took a lot of people. And Ian has left a few people with some residual illnesses. But it was the shakeup, and it was the invitation for us to pause and reflect and look at our own lives and which direction do we want to go into? Am I really following the path that I should be following? Is there more to me than this? Yes. And this was the pivot time. This was the time, it was a gift of time to go in and reflect. And, you know, it's so many people now, I don't want just a job. I don't care if it's janitorial or CEO. I want something that's meaningful.
Yes.
I want something where I can get up every single day, whether I'm being paid or not, and be proud to do, because I belong. I belong. And I think, you know, for people who walk into jobs that they shouldn't because they just want a job, why don't you treat every quote, quote job as a career growth, whether you stay there or not, as a career growth? And it may not be, you know, where you want to be for the rest of your life, but look at it as if it is your career for the rest of your life. Give it your all, and then what you're going to get back in the response of energy is going to fortify you to propel forward, or to actually look at it and go, I really like it here.
Yes. Or that change in attitude, that change in excitement, that change in passion that you're doing by saying, I'm going to give it my all.
Yes.
Like you're saying, very well could lead you to your next position. That person's in and meets you and offers you a job in the career that is perfect for you.
And so, if you're grumpy, oh God, no. But if you're a person that is bringing joy, you know, I mean, we look at our poor baristas. You know, I'll have a latte quote half this, that it's actually, you know, it reminds me of that movie LA Story, you know, it's like an encyclopedia for a coffee. And where is my coffee? Why haven't I had it now? I can't wait. You know, why is this lined up something? Why don't you take a breath? And when you meet the barista, having a hard day, love, don't worry, it's going to change from now. You know, give them some positive energy to get through the thing. I promise you the coffee will taste different.
You're 100% right. It will taste different. Mm-hmm. And they've done so many studies where you take 2 glasses of water or 2 things of water.
I've done the shows on that. Yes.
Yeah. Give it the great energy, freeze it, look at the different in the crystals. You're absolutely right. That coffee is going to taste better. if you treat that person right. You're 100%.
There was Emoto who did that experiment. Ignore glass filled with despondency, one filled with love, and all the difference in it. And the man that was his assistant, he died. The one that was assistant has continued on. And they've gone on and measured waters in various places of the world. This environment is really happy. All these people are happy, and they've seen the happiness in the water, and then they've gone elsewhere. This water is so contaminated, and people that, well, it's the water that affects the people. No, the people are affecting the water, right? So, and then let's remember, we are 70% water. So all that negativity that is changing your water structure in your body, no wonder your body and your psyche is breaking down.
Yes. Yeah, you're 100% right. And we do affect the water. and we are far more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit for on what we can control and change and respond to in our life at an energy level for sure.
Yes.
And we need to remember these things. Beautifully said again. You make some wonderful points, Sarah. Thank you.
Well, you know that old adage saying, "I just left a bad taste in my mouth." It changed the water, the saliva in your body, and that's the reason why you're having a bad taste in your mouth. And and you know, we look at yourself as, no, I want my water to be, you know, constantly in flow and healthy and vibrant. And that means if you want to see change in the world, be the change. If you want to see peace in the world, be a part of the peace. If you want to see love in the world, be love. Yes. It's not for everything outside to give you, to make you a difference. It is entirely an inside job.
I agree. It's an inside job. And that's what I found as I started to do this and spent more and more time internal. For years, and I'm talking for like 20, I would try to meditate. Mm-hmm. And I would breathe, I would try to clear my mind. And basically it was just a prep for falling asleep. You're
an orange personality. You can't do that, love.
Yeah, and I would just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Once I found my energy and followed it to the quantum room, now I can meditate.
Yes.
And that's when the change happened. That internal reflection, and that was when my life changed, and that was when I found my purpose. And that's what I'm hoping with people as they go through this book. Once they find their energy, find a place where they can meditate, and your quantum room can be different than mine. And I've never talked to anybody that looks like mine. It can look like a pond. One person's underwater, some are in space. One was in a vehicle that they used to love. That's where they would go in their quantum room. Everybody's is different. Sometimes it's on a mountain or in a field. Don't think that yours has to look like mine. It's going to look like yours.
It's where you feel at home.
Yeah. And when you get there, just enjoy it. And the meditation you do inside that is going to change you. It's going to align that energy that you're talking about. You'll get a better taste in your mouth for sure. And you can actually meditate. And that's where I found my purpose. It's where I found energy protection. Mm-hmm. I don't worry about sleeping anymore. I used to get very concerned going to sleep because I was expecting problems when I slept, and whether it was physical or from the spirit world or whatever. And now I know I'm protected, and it makes a huge difference when you know that you're protected and you can access that at any time. So
having been body snatched, yes, you need that protection.
Know more than virtually anybody. Yes.
Yeah. So I know about that, and it always is that I opened too many of those doors, and I didn't fill the void with love or whatever. I just was curious what's behind the door, and I didn't shut it properly, and it allowed that entity to come in. And yes, there is that. I'm not a meditator either. Because I'm a constant movie maker. There's perpetual movie going on, or I'm off in another dimension. So for me, my meditation is when I am in kind of sky space, and it is a feeling of everything and nothing.
Yeah,
I'm entirely alone, but I have the entire universe around me. I have no knowledge in this moment, but it is all around me. It is with me whenever I need it. And it's an out of body, where you do not feel the body whatsoever. You're so light. And in that, wonderful void of nothingness, there is everything, and including everything that you need to know. So for me, it would be, okay, I need to know this. Let's go up to the universe library and download it and bring it back with me.
Yes.
Right?
The downloads, when you're able to start
Yes.
getting to that meditative state, being in another dimension, being outside your body, the downloads that you get are just amazing. The insights that you get, the creativity, the clear vision, knowing I should not be doing this anymore. I should be doing this. Just the clarity that comes with all that is beautiful and amazing.
You know, and anybody can do it. It's just a state of beingness.
Yes.
Right. And it's like your downloads don't dictate how they should be or who they should be for. I have, as my mother was before me, very often that person between death and ascendance, where people where I don't know where to go. And I couldn't choose who it was. It's just that they caught me at that frequency, and I was then to take them up, you know, to show them the door quintessentially. And the thing is, one person does this, well, that's what they do. That's their gift. That's their instrument. Yeah. This is what you do. There is no comparison when comparing. There is no competition. Right. It is embrace the gift that you are in the way you do it that maximizes your ability to contribute to the world in a more empowering way. Without question. And again, very beautifully said. I love your thoughts and how eloquent you are when you share them with us. You take fairly big concepts and make them very simple and clear and easy. That just makes sense. The mind is the one that wants the complex thing, right? And you know, I've just written my memoir, and you know, all my life I was a non-academic because I was a sickly child, missed too much schooling, and I was always kind of persecuted for not being academic. You know, not having the degrees, not finishing school. I'm a dyslexic, so I can say things upside down and write them, you know, the wrong way around and all of that. And for so long, I felt inadequate because I wasn't that. And now I come to understand why I am that blank slate. If I have all that academic information there, it gets in the way of the divine truth that I'm meant to share. Right. So yeah, I think you're onto something. Just like I was talking about, an English major will not like the way I make my notes when I'm in the quantum room. Because it's a different language. Yes. Truly, it's a different language, and we just have to accept it and be open to it. There is no wrong way. If the way is increasing the beautiful energy, if the resonance of who you are and what you're doing is always on the climb, is always rippling out and embracing positively other people, there is no wrong way. It is the way that is you and what you're meant to do. And as long as it's having that positive effect, then who cares how you do it? Exactly. And that, again, it's something that's a big part of me in my own life. I like to watch people find their way, do it their own way. And nothing is more rewarding to me at work. I'll give big picture instructions and let them run with it. And I'm just shocked at the process that they come up with many times, things that I would never think of that work so well. And I'm just thankful I didn't get in the way. And try to put my bias to it, because the outcome is truly amazing. Well, that's the thing is I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a real leader is a person that creates leaders. Because what you do is like, this is the ABC that needs to be done, right? This is who it's for. Who's the person that's receiving it. This is the benefit of it. Yeah. I see it this way. Now everybody put your own hats on. How do you see it? Yeah. Now, like a beautiful puzzle, which pieces go together to make the clear picture? And then something amazing happens. Complementary of each other. You can collectively create something that no one person can do. Yes. Yeah, you get that beautiful synergy, and 1 + 1 = 7 sometimes. Yes. Yes. And it's always about, you know, the people. I think the thing with the just being a humanoid, we consider down and up. And that success is, the ivory tower CEO, rich and, famous, and cars and this and that. And then it's, you go from here to up to there, and that's the epitome of success. When you're in quantum energy or any spiritual energy of any kind, you understand it's not up and down, it is around. It is the ripple effect of how many people can you put your arms around in the world, in the universe.
For sure. And that's absolutely right. That ripple effect, and touching as many people as you can in a positive way, and helping them grow and think on their own and run. It's, watching our children as they grew up. What an amazing thing, seeing who they turned into.
Yes.
And touching their friends and your nieces and nephews, and there's so many people that we have an opportunity to help and to help grow and to help them know that the resources that they need for whatever they want to do are out there. They just have to be open to them.
And that's the point. Be open to it. The universe always provides. And why do we have poisons in this plant, and yet just a few feet away there's the cure? What's the point of the poison and the cure? It is to understand why the poison is bad for us. But if we partake by any chance of that poison, if you're willing to clear the poison, there is the cure. Right?
If you're willing.
Yep. If you're willing. That big free will.
For sure.
And you can't take people up into a quantum room unless they're open. And the thing is, they don't have to know how to get there, in a sense, like, what's the directions? Which way do I go? Right. It is just a question, open up to receive, and your own divine essence will go into that room. Yep. And it will choose which room it wants to be in.
Exactly. Yes. Just be open to spirit. Let spirit guide you. Let the universe guide you. Let however you want to phrase it get you there. Just be open to it and go with that energy, go with the flow, and you'll find it. If you're trying to force my room into you, if you're trying to force somebody else's or force anything, really, you're not going to get what you're after. Just be open, relax, and let it happen.
And how do you know if it's right? The head may argue, or it feels right. The body may be excited, the energy may be excited, but it's right kind of here in the solar plex. When the gut says it's right, there is no doubt, there's no clenching. If the gut is going to a little clench, I don't know. Everything says it's right, but the gut is saying, No, the gut may not be saying it's wrong. It just may be saying, choose a different path to get there. Right? But trust the core of you. Listen to the core of you. And when the core says there is no argument here, go for it. If the core says, well, then maybe more information, or maybe slightly differently, look at it as to, what do I need to know, core?
Yeah, absolutely. And don't look at that feeling in your gut. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's upsetting. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
With my radio show that I have, there still are times where I'm getting ready to interview somebody and my stomach is getting so upset. That core you're talking about is just such a mess, and I want to quit. I want to just turn off the phones. I want to walk away and never do it again. I want to talk to these people. I just want to be gone. I'm too freaked out, right? 5 minutes later, when I'm on the phone with them or on a Zoom, having the best time imaginable, everything's good. And what I realized was, for me, that thing in the core, when I start feeling it, I'm tuned. That's kind of where I tune into that universal energy.
Yes.
And if I'm getting a ton of it like that in that situation, I know it's going to be a great interview and I'm going to have a great friend at the end of it, and that the audience is going to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's a story about, I believe it was Jack Nicklaus was in a golf tournament, and it was a tie, and him and the person that he was competing with both teed off, and it went almost to the same spot, each of their shots. So they're walking down together, and the young guy that he was playing against says, "Oh my God, this is so crazy. My stomach is just in an uproar. I can't believe all this is going on. I feel like I'm going to throw up. My stomach's just going crazy." And Nicholas turns to him and says, "Yeah, isn't it great?" Guess who won?
Yeah, exactly. My mother was a stage actress, and she would be a gibbering wreck before she got on.
Yes.
And the moment she set foot on that stage and into character, that was it. You know, for me, I have an illness that can be very draining. It's an energy sucker, and I can wake up and I'm totally drained, and it's like all I want to do is try and sleep, but sleep is eluding me anyway. And you know, I come to this, I've got to do a show, where can I find my energy? And then the moment it's record, it's like the energy's there, it's there.
Yes.
And it is the healing of it, because you're doing something you love with inspiring wonderful people who are doing things that they love, and you've got a little mini orchestra going on here, which is just fantastic. And then at the end of it, it's a different form of tiredness. You know, you've been rejuvenated.
Yes.
But she always used to say, the day I lose the nerves, I've lost the ability.
I agree with that. And I can tell you that when we're done today, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. You know, I get so energized during these things,
Yes.
whether I'm the host or the guest. It's just the best. And yeah, I'm going to be feeling wonderful the rest of the day. Guaranteed, I'll be high energy, bouncing off the walls.
Well, that's good.
And
It's good.
it's a wonderful,
Just don't hit your head on the
feeling.
ceiling.
I've done that. Yeah, and the doorways.
You know, I have another show after this, so somebody will benefit from that energy. But again, I think it's that question, as I was saying before. Yes, we all need to make money. I do. My platform is run by donation because it costs money to run this.
Mhm.
I don't have any other income, so yes, this is it.
Yeah.
But it's not about the money. As long as I'm secure enough, roof over the head, food in the stomach, can pay my bills, etc. It is about, would I do it for free? And I have. I've been doing this 10 years, and believe me, the money that comes in doesn't provide that. It is, I'm compelled to do it, not out of any human structure. I'm compelled to do it because finally, my meaningful purpose of a few thousand years is this is the instrument that I'm meant to play to bring the players together for the orchestra, right? And that is it is like I found that meaningful purpose. I have to do this, not for anybody else, because this is what I was chosen to do.
Without question. And when you find that purpose, it's beautiful.
It's not work.
Yeah.
I mean, there is work attached to it, but it's not work. It's just when you've stepped into that purpose and that calling, you understand what we're talking about.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful when you find it. And I was afraid I was never going to find it. And but doing this work is how I found it. And it turns out that doing this work is part of the of the purpose. So
exactly. And it's and the growth that can come out of it. You know, I started with one podcast on a different network, and now I've got 18 on this network. I've had hosts and things like this, but now I'm just going out to mentors and things. That it is I have an entire blueprint of where we're taking it next. And it's always like, no, not yet, not yet. The synergy of people, the synergy of people. Can I do it this fall? Synergy of people. and but when the synergy of people come together, that's the orchestra. They're the right people in the orchestra, and the music is right to play. But if you've got a good sheet of music with the wrong players, it's going to kill the music.
Yes. Yeah. And take your energy.
Yes.
And take your excitement and take your passion. And so, yeah, you're 100% right. You have to have that all together, the sheet music, the the people, the energy that goes with it. It all has to line up. And once it does, holy moly, get out of the way.
Yes.
Because something magic's going to happen.
Yes. And the thing is, you know, I didn't fail at the quantum motor. Is that it wasn't the right time, and also apparently from the quantum physics that was discovered from that, it went into an artificial intelligence with my ex-partner, which he's doing with Microsoft. So the one thing that you think was meant to be it ended up being the catalyst and the muse for what was meant to be. So sometimes we think we're on the path and we're going to do this, and this is what the end is going to be, and this is what the direction, and then it goes, no. You're on this path because it's going to be this, right?
Yes.
And it's like, okay, I'm a little confused. Why did you give me that? No. That was just to get you on the right path. But you can let go of that one now and go in a totally different direction because you've learned everything you need to learn to take that path.
Yes.
So it's the lessons we learn at the right time in life that when we're on the right path, we've got the right knowledge to keep us on that path, on the steady. So don't ever look at anything as a failure as long as you're willing to learn from it.
Absolutely. And don't expect things to be easy.
No.
Sometimes they will feel easy, but many times, it's going to be work. It's going to be, you're putting in the effort. People talk about manifesting, and to me, what that's really doing is you're getting your body, mind, spirit, your energy focused on working towards something. Not that it's just going to materialize for you, but you're going
The
to
cosmic
be
Amazon
open.
delivery.
Exactly, but you're open to the things that it's going to take to get there, and now you can
Exactly.
start finding those
Yeah.
trails.
The channels
And
are
get
all
there.
open, ready to receive.
There you go.
Right. And now you know what to, and sometimes you can be downloading everything at once. What do I do first? Well, now that you take everything around you, one step at a time.
Yes.
With each one, and which goes first, well, you're not going to know until you look at each one of those beautiful gifts and go, this one goes first. But again, get out of the human intellect, go into the soul intellect, the cosmic intellect, and then you'll never be stirred wrong.
I agree. Yeah. Again, perfectly said.
How do people get the book? How do people listen to your podcast? And how do people get hold of you?
Perfect. The easiest way to do all those things is to go to slipstreamshaman.com, and there's a place to order the book. It's through Amazon. There is 2 different pages. One is the podcast that I host. The other is podcasts that I've been on, and this will be added to it. And we'll get a link on there for that as well. And then there's also an email link on one of the pages that's just slipstreamshaman@gmail.com. And I would encourage you, if you need some help, if you feel like this is something that could help you, reach out to me. There is no charge. There's no hidden charge. This is part of my part of what I'm here for, and that's to help, part of my purpose. And but yes, please, if you think it'll help you, order the book. If you're listening now and it feels right, probably is.
Yes.
Something to look at. Also, if you're on Instagram, I'm Slipstream Shaman on Instagram, and that's where a lot of the new things will be sent out. So I would encourage people to follow me on that. And I'm fairly new to it. I might even be saying follow wrong. I don't know if it's friend me or follow me or what.
I
haven't
think
done a lot of.
You follow on Instagram, friend
Okay.
on Facebook. I know.
Yeah. So that's I would really encourage people to do that so that we can get the followers up. And also there's a YouTube. If you search Slipstream Shaman at YouTube, you'll find the page, and you'll see that most of this stuff's new. I'm fairly new to the whole social media and electronic part of it. I've been doing this work for years. I just haven't had it online.
Yeah.
So you'll be one of the early people.
And of course, any of the healings are remote healing. They don't have to be with you.
Right. It's all
because
remote.
It's all, and there's some people, how does that work? If he's not there, how can you do it? Well, all he needs to know is your energy signature, because that's your DNA energy signature. And, like I had a friend over this weekend, and we have a cat here. I actually understand where the terminology scaredy cat comes from. Because she's one of these people, a human comes in and we don't see her for days. But my friend had been here before, and she came in, and the cat immediately went to her. It's you, right?
Yes.
And it's like it's months, or even probably last year, that she was over here. And yet the cat, is it the smell? Well, you can put it down that maybe, but it's the vibration. She knew her signature. Right. Yes. And that's the same when you're working with someone. You're tuned into that signature, and you know where their energies are and what's off balance.
Absolutely. And it's and distance doesn't seem to matter. I would really love to. I don't know if I even need to test it, but if somebody was on a spaceship and was hundreds of light years away, I think it would work the same. I think the connection would still be made. And
probably clearer,
just as fast.
The thing we forget about is that this world was made out of the universe, and we are all particles of the universe. There is some beautiful fiber optics that is running through all of our bodies and through every living thing on this planet, that is also projecting and receiving from the universe. We are all connected.
Yes. That connection.
It's just tapping into that connection, right?
And it's instantaneous.
Yeah.
It's not something that you have to wait for. So yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm in Oregon most of the time, but I work with people that are in Canada, in the UK. I'm looking forward to working with somebody in Australia soon. But yeah, anywhere in the world,
Hmm.
we can do this. It just doesn't matter. So yeah, I would love to help anybody that feels like they need help. And but please, you know, if you can sign up for the YouTube and the Instagram. It helps build things and
Yes,
get the word
exactly.
out. So I would
Respond, folks,
appreciate it.
respond.
Yeah,
Not
be
just
my
with a
friend.
click or a like, a nice comment, please.
There you go.
Be
There you go.
interactive. We've also got to remember all social media is an algorithm. It's actually feeding off your energy. If you don't want to see the negativity of the social media, don't follow it and don't post it. If you
Yes.
wanted to see the positivity, that is what you respond to. And you need at least 3 words for the algorithm to pick up.
Perfect.
So it is slipstreamshaman.com.
Yes. Yes.
Instagram the same. Twitter
Yes.
is Slipstream Todd W.
Yeah, Slipstream Shaman was one letter too long for Twitter.
Right,
And so,
exactly. Yeah,
so we had to go Slipstream Todd W.
right. And then, of course, your podcast is slipstreamshaman.com/podcast. And all of that information is there.
On the
And,
website.
you know, it's, if you've listened to the show and you feel, you know, that, you know, I don't know if I'm up for this or not, but, you know, it felt right. It felt right. That's when you reach out. If it
Yes.
felt right, it's not if you think right. Did you feel right? You know, that there's something here that's when you reach out and even have a discussion, and you'll know whether there is a synergy or not.
Yeah. And truthfully, the email's not just to ask for a healing session. It's
Yeah.
if you have a question,
Yes.
or if you just want to say hi. I saw you on the podcast. I just wanted to say hi. There's
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Wrong with that at all. It's actually quite
Connection.
nice.
Learn to interact with self and each other. What a concept.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing here today, Todd.
Thank you for having me on, Sarah. It was a blast. I love the way you talk, the way you take concepts and make them so clean and clear. I really appreciate it. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you very much. Right back at you. And thank you for embracing your journey. You know, a lot of people, especially, you know, kind of in plus 40, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to rock the boat. I mean, I hate my job, but I've got this, I got that. No, if there's hate in any of your vocabulary, it's time for change.
Without question.
And it doesn't matter what age you are. They're never too late, except for
Never,
5
ever.
minutes before you die. Let's do it a little earlier than that.
That might be a little late.
Thank you so much for being here. And to everyone else out there, please be open. We are all energy. We can all connect with each other. It isn't just the physical healing, the emotional healing, the opening up to your beautiful channel. So that first step that you take, that beautiful first leap, that you begin to see the path for what it is and pay attention to the people that are on that path, because they're all there to support you in one way or the other into your own self-discovery. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Find all of our shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com under podcasts or selfdiscoverymedia/shows. And for all our current shows, go to What's New. We are supported by you, the audience. You will see a nice big shiny blue button for one-time donations, or follow us on Patreon and you will be able to support us there. We enjoy bringing you such wisdom. And the next show will be up in just a moment.